Help, I have done it again. I have been here many times before, hurt myself again today.
My name's Jenna. How would you define addiction?
So I think one of the biggest misconceptions about addiction and how people define it is that they see it as a behavioral or moral deficiency, and a lot of people don't believe that it's a disease, and I define addiction as a disease, just like any other disease. I believe like I was an addict before I ever did drugs, because like I always felt like there was something missing. Like I always felt like I needed something outside of myself to feel better about who I was. And it started out like with attention. That was probably like my first drug of choice, was like attention, especially from my parents.
So when I first found out that my daughter was using heroin, my first thought was, heroin or addicts or junkies that live in, a big city. They live in abandoned buildings and tenements, and they live in a room with a threadbare mattress, and they don't work, and they're just basically lost.
I think that a big misconception is that it's like homeless old men like living on the street. Those are the people that do dope, not like young white girls from like middle-class families.
Beneath the stains of time, the feelings disappear. You are someone.
The first time I tried heroin, I was 17. I had just turned 17. It was like summer before senior year of high school, and up until that point, like I had only ever really smoked pot or like drank alcohol. I don't remember doing anything like any other sort of drug. Heroin like took over my fucking brain.
Were you like upset, or were you just like bamboozled?
I wasn't upset. I was just like, I was obsessed. It wasn't really an emotion. It was just like I was completely obsessed. It was more like, oh my god, like shock maybe. I definitely got to the point where I was like, I want to try that again.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I was one of those people that like had to be beaten down in order to become willing, because I didn't believe like that certain things would happen until I was actually living them. And like I moved around a lot, and I tried like changing my environment. I tried going to school in different places. I tried substituting drugs. I tried all sorts of things, like so I could keep getting high in one way or another, and the only way for me to be completely free of like heroin addiction is to be completely clean with no drugs or alcohol, no mood or mind altering substances.
I went to Now, those 3+ years I was so proud of, and I threw them all away for 2 styrofoam cups. The irony, everyone will think that he lied to me. Made my sobriety so public, there's no fucking privacy. If I don't talk about it, then I carry a date. A 08/10/08, then now it's been changed. And everyone that put me in some box is saying that I never was, just a false prophet that never came. And will they think that everything that I've written has all been fake, or will I just take my slip to the grave? What the fuck are my parents gonna say?
Don't try to fix it.
God help them.
The biggest piece of advice I ever got was sometimes to help means not to help. They have to get help themselves, and they have to want it.
I got to the point where I realized like there was no one left to blame. I couldn't blame like anything or anyone else. Like I came face to face with the fact that like I have a disease, like I have a big problem, and like no one is gonna get me clean except for myself.
It's been a long journey for Jenna through learning about this disease that affects her and how to get help and how to get treated and how to conquer it. And in June, she had a year of clean time. And now she goes out in her community and in different rehab centers, and she talks to other struggling people struggling with drug addiction and other challenges in life, and she encourages them, and she tells her story, and she's not ashamed of it, and she touches people's lives and helps now, and she gives back, and I'm really very, very proud of her.
What worked for me and worked for a lot of other addicts that I know is to get involved in a 12-step program and you know, and seek treatment. Like it's really up to you. They're completely different. But yeah, that's the advice, you know, and like it's not really advice, but like someone showing addiction, like just know like you're not alone, and there's always a way out, even if it feels like there isn't.
That's good. I like it.
Thought I would, didn't pick up the book. Doing it by myself didn't turn out that good. If I can be an example of getting sober, then I can be an example of starting over. If I can be an example of getting sober, then I can be an example of starting over.